Hey everyone, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting. I thought we'd do a little process video today. I am going to be making some of my bear tags and thought I would share with you. I did have a comment on my release video from Love Colors 5821, and she was interested in having me show how I did the stamping on the bear, or the background. So I thought I would just sit down and put together some tags and just talk you through the process of the assembly, some tips and tricks, and then doing some stamping. So just to give you a recap, here's was my favorite tag that I did using my new bear die from Impression Obsession. And this little heart here is from the Sewing Accessories stamp set, or excuse me, die set. And this wreath here is from my Magnolia wreath die. And of course, then there's the bear, and then my favorite tag used as the base. So there's that one. Here's another look at one where I added a little bit of greenery for a wreath. And here's the back side. I thought I would also show this. When possible, I try to make my my dies symmetrical. So you can see the front of the bear here is really nicely die cut. You can see it's the front side of the die cut. But then if you look at the back side, this also is the front nicely cut die cut. So the difference would be if you were to look at the back of a die, you can see that the lines aren't as crisply cut, and you can often see impressions of other textures from your cutting plates. But because I made the bear symmetrical, you can actually use a really nice looking die cut on the back for your tag. And I could stamp to from on here and it would be okay. Just because those little lines are there from the cut, that's perfectly fine. But I love that it looks nice on both sides when you adhere two pieces together back to back. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's him. And then here's another one that's holding a little mug of coffee, and that comes with the bear die, that little mug and whipped cream does. And then here's the heart that comes with the die set, and it also comes with the pieces here for you to be able to make the scarf. So let's go ahead and just using these as inspiration, go ahead and create a bear tag. I'm going to set those guys off to the side there. And I've got all my pieces die cut. I'm gonna set this little guy up in front of me just for inspiration. So I've got all my pieces die cut. I die cut the bear out of some heavyweight cardstock, cream colored. I think this is 120 pound from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but it's just a really nice weight. And I've also die cut it out of some pattern paper and also some fun foam. So here he is die cut out of foam. And I like using that as a foam dimensional behind my die cuts sometimes. And I like using this Silly Winks foam. Looks like it picked up at Hobby Lobby for 99 cents. But it comes in a great big 12 by 18 sheet. And it's not super thick, but I don't really like my die cut foam to be super thick either. This says it's a 3 millimeter thick. So just right, in my opinion. So there's that. And then I also have a bunch of greenery that I've die cut from the winter foliage die set from Impression Obsession, and I just die cut it in various colors of green. So this is a really beautiful die set. And then here are some extra parts from the bear die. So here are the pieces for his scarf. Here's the heart that comes with the die set, and this is the mug with the whipped cream. I just die cut those out of plain cardstock. And then I also die cut some tag bases as well. I die cut some banner pieces just in case I wanted to add a banner to one of my tags with a sentiment. I die cut a couple of sparkly toppers to decorate the top of a couple of tags. And then I also die cut a tag out of some book paper, and it's actually adhered to another piece of cardstock, and it's splattered with watercolor. So this was probably just extra from my previous bear assembly line projects. Here's the tag die cut out of some cream 120 pound cardstock and some really nice heavyweight green cardstock that I have. I thought that'd be fun as a backer. And then I die cut it out of some text paper as well. And this is the this pad here from Impression Obsession called Vintage Letters, and it's just full of various different text papers. But I like using this for the tags because it's a nice weight of paper. So it's not flimsy. So it's a really nice sturdy weight. So if you don't have a text stamp, you can also use text paper. And not only can you die cut your tag base out of text paper if you're interested in that look, but you could also die cut your bear out of text weight paper as well. So here you can see he is cut out of that text paper. Of course, his nose is missing. It's down here in the dish somewhere, but that's another option too. If you don't have text stamps, but you like the look of the text in the background, get yourself a sheet or two or a pad of the text paper. So there's that option too. So I'm going to go ahead and put this awful looking piece of paper down as just to protect my work surface here. And let's go ahead and get started. I always like to start with my bear first. So I think I'll start with this little cream colored guy. And I want to pop his face back in here. So I'm going to dig out a little snout and a nose. And his eyes stayed in the die cut, so that's kind of handy. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape across there. And that'll keep those eyes in place. And it will also give me something to adhere my nose to. So just a little piece of Scotch tape will work. You can use washi tape too, but I like using Scotch tape when I have it handy here. And I'm just going to cut that short so it doesn't interfere with the movement of the bear's hands. So there's that. And now I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to color in his eyes. Since those die cuts stayed inside the die, I can just take a black marker here. And excuse my shaky hands this morning. I can just color that little eye. If those eyes had popped out and were not left in the die cut, you could also just die cut a piece of black cardstock behind. And I'll show you how to do that on the next one. And that might be actually a little bit easier than my little shaky hand this morning. But there we go. And let's see, let's give this snout a little bit of color here. I'm going to color his nose with a C7 marker just to give it some darkness without having to be true black. And then I'm going to take my C9 and put that along just a portion of it. And what that'll do is that'll give that nose just a little bit of highlight where that gray marker is, the lighter gray marker, and give that. So it looks like it has just a little bit of highlight. So that's kind of fun. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my snout here some color, but I'm just going to use my various different inks and just add ink. So I'm going to grab one of my brushes here. And I think I'll use walnut stain. And just ink the edges of this little guy's nose. All right, so that looks good. And then I'm also going to ink the edges of my bear as well, just so he has a little bit of dimension. I like doing this before and after I stamp on any images. I like putting down a little bit of ink first, and then I don't have to do so much after I've done stamping and risk blurring any of my stamp details. So this works out great. I love these little blending brushes. I'm sure you guys have seen these. They're wonderful. And then I also like picking it up and using the edge of the brush like this. It gives you just a little bit of a different look and accentuates the ink around the edges there. So that's fun. He's looking nice and toasty, isn't he? All right, I gotta put my glasses on so I can see. Okay, so now I'm just gonna pick up his little nose here and drop it right in, just like I'm putting together a puzzle. And it's going to stick right down to that tape and stay nicely in place. And then same thing with my little nose here. If I can actually pick it up. I'll just drop it right down on that piece of tape. And that's going to keep that in place. So easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. So also, the die comes with his little ear inserts. So if you want to use those, you can. I would just leave them in here and just color them and then add them to his ears. I'm going to save those and use them on a different bear, and I'll show you. You can also just use markers to add a little bit of shading here to where the inside of his ears would be, and that turns out super cute. You can also add a little shading for his cheeks too if you'd like. So, but just keeping this fairly simple. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of stamps and show you how to stamp on the background, since that was the whole point of the video here. And let's see, let me kind of move this stuff off to the side. So I've pulled out some of my favorite background stamps from Impression Obsession, and these are still available on their website. Even though they're red rubber and they don't make red rubber individual stamps anymore, they still are producing their cover card stamps. And these are really wonderful, wonderful stamps to have on hand. So this one is the grunge background, and I love this stamp. It has a really interesting textural detail there in it. And then this one is one of my absolute favorites. This is Jeannie's Worn Linen, and I love this stamp. In fact, it's the stamp I used on, let me look, this bear here. You can see all the little hatch lines. That is this stamp. So I really, really love this stamp. I use it all the time for all different kinds of things. And I thought this one would be fun to use as well. This is Jeannie's Tiny Stars. And so it's an entire background of those little tiny stars of various sizes in just kind of a randomly tossed pattern. And then this is Beauty Text, and it's just a really small book text in like an antique typewriter font like you'd see in an old paperback. And this is Ledger. This is another really fun one to use. I love the textural lines. And then it also has some grunging up here, distressing, I guess, in the corners. And then it has numbers down both sides. So that's kind of a fun little stamp to use. And then I pulled this one as well. And this is Jeannie's Cowboy Christmas stamp. So it's just a really beautiful font of some handwriting. So that is those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a couple of those to add to my design here, my bear. Oh, the other ones I pulled out were this one. I think Impression Obsession has a speckled cover card as well, but I have this one. It's from Stampin' Up! From ages ago. Ages ago. And it's called Speckled. So this one's a really fun one. And then I also pulled this one out, and this is a Judikins, an old Judikins stamp that I have that's just a music note. And I know Impression Obsession has a music note cover card as well. So I'm just going to use this little guy here to start, and I'm going to add my actually I'm going to do Vintage Photo. I'm going to start with Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to add a little bit of ink here to my stamp, nothing crazy, and I just really want this to be kind of faint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that just a quick little spritz of water here. I have the little squirt bottle here, just has plain water in it, and I'm just going to give that a little squirt. And you don't really want to saturate it. You just want it damp. So you can see it's just barely damp there. And I'm just going to pick up my die cut and press him down into the ink. And then you can see it adds just a little bit of ink to him. And then I can do this top side as well. And add a little bit up there to his ear. And because this is so imprecise, non-perfect, I love how it turns out. It's just the idea of something there in the background. So I'm going to set that one off to the side, and let's choose another one. Let's look at doing maybe the Ledger. Since we've got some writing already, let's go with the Ledger. And I'm going to do the same thing, just add a little bit of ink and give it a little spritz here. And pick up my die cut again and kind of look at it and see where I might want some additional stamping. I might put some up here on his ear and maybe some down here on his shoulder. So let's see, it was this ear. Let's see, that's cute. And then over here on his shoulder. All right, so there he is. And now what I'm also going to add are a couple of my little postmark stamps. And I know the ones that I'm using are ancient, but I've been looking around, and there are lots of postmark stamps available right now. So have a look around. Just do a search for postage stamp, cancellation stamp, postmark stamp, things like that, and you'll find a whole bunch. So I'm going to use this one. In fact, this one I found as there's a listing on eBay currently. So I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to use my vintage photo ink again, because I kind of just want everything to stay kind of in the background as subtly as possible, since the focus of the design is really the bear, not necessarily the stamping. So I'm going to add some vintage photo ink to my stamp, and then I did give it a little spritz here of water, and I'm just going to stamp that right here on my bear, and I'm going to stamp it up here as well, just to give a little bit of something. You might actually hear my tummy growling. I'm hungry. I don't know if you heard that, but that was my tummy. All right, so that's I think good. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. All right. So I think he's so cute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a piece of this foam to the background, just so you can see how that works. And when I die cut the foam, the pieces thankfully stay in, but they're just barely, haha, there. So I'm going to add a piece of tape across that as well, just to kind of keep those things in place. And he's going to be mounted to a tag, so it's not like I need the back side to look pretty or the inside here to look pretty, because this is going to be adhered to the back of my little guy here. But that'll just keep these in place. So I love his little arms. All right, so now I'm going to actually adhere him down to my foam here, and I'm going to use, let's see, I've got several glues here. I'm going to use this art glitter glue, and I want to be careful not to adhere my arms down, because I want those to be able to pop up later and hold something. So I need to get a little bit up here on his ears. I'm just going to put that right in place. And you could adhere it right over the top like this, or you can offset it a little bit, and that'll act kind of like a drop shadow. But I'm just going to add him right to the top here of the foam. So see how beautiful that foam cuts out? It's really quite amazing. And then I'm going to set a clear block on him just to keep that those two layers in place there, and let that glue dry. All right, so while that's working on and drying, let's go ahead and start on the tag. And I'm going to show you, since I've stamped on the bear here with text, I think I'll choose a, let's see, which one do I want to use? I think that's too similar to the bear. But I think this one would be cute. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the green of this as a base for my tag. So I'm just going to adhere these two together. And because, again, my tags, as often as possible, I make them symmetrical. And so what I'm going to do is, instead of adhering the two nice sides like this, I'm going to adhere the back side of the tags together, so that I have a nice looking die cut here and have a really nice looking die cut here. Some glue on there. There, see, they fit together so perfectly. And I love having symmetrical tags like this, because I just think, you know, somebody's going to look at the front side, but they're also going to be looking at the back to see what you've written on there. And I just like it to look nice on both sides. So what spurred me to do this is I had one of the original tag sets that I ever purchased. I tried doing this, and it was not symmetrical at all. And it was just really frustrating. And from that point on, I was like, all tags like this, when possible, should be symmetrical. So I tried to be consistent in that in my design work. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of distressing ink to this tag here. That's cute. And then a little bit to this side as well, of course, just for good measure. That's my stomach again. All right, so there's that little guy. And then I'm going to add the decoration on here as well. Should I use that one or this lighter color one here? I think I'll use the lighter color, or the darker color one. So there is a score here in the middle of this, which allows you to fold it precisely in half. And I'm just going to glue that onto the top of my tag here. We woke up to snow here this morning. Thankfully, it's melting off already, but holy cow. I'm not quite ready for snow. Yesterday, I was still working out in the garden, cutting down the last of the sunflower stalks and getting the flower beds ready for winter, getting them tucked in under the silage tarp and that kind of stuff. So not quite ready for winter. All right, so there's my little tag base, and I love how it has that little sparkly detail on the top, and it folds over and decorates the back as well. And you could also stamp on here if you wanted to stamp on here like you did the bear. You could do that as well. But I like having the text, the paper on here because it just gets you started, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at adding him. And on this card, or this tag, I really liked the use of that wreath in the background. So I think I'll pull one of those dies out of my die cut stash here. And this is just a little container that I put any extra die cuts that I make that I don't use during my project time. I just put them all in here. So this is a complete jumble of die cuts. So, I mean, I've got random hiking boots in here. I have umbrellas, flowers, words that I've die cut, mounted on foam or in several layers of cardstock here. I've got a jumble of cookies. There's tree cookies and gingerbread cookies. There's leaves. I mean, there's just everything that I've cut out as of late, but actually hadn't used yet. So, and here's a little piece of my bear's scarf. So I'll pull that off to the side. Maybe need that. And so here's some of these magnolia wreath dies that I cut and it didn't use on my previous projects. So I'm just going to grab a couple of those out. Oh, here's one you're not supposed to see yet. Now, if y'all have been watching this video, you just got a sneak peek of something yet to come. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and use one of these little wreath dies here, and I'm going to add a little bit of inking around it just to make it not look so starkly new, I guess. And I think I'll add a little bit of stamping to this as well, just because, why not, right? We've got ink, we've got stamps. Let's make everything fun. I think I'll use this speckled stamp. So just add a little bit of ink here, and I'm not going to worry about adding any water to my stamp this time. I'm just going to stamp it on here like this. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now I'm going to place this kind of behind the bear so that I like where it is. And I'm going to adhere that down. And because some of my wreath sticks out, I need to make sure I'm not putting glue on portions of the tag that actually will be hanging over. And don't have to get too carried away, but you want to make sure it sticks. So there's that. So see now the portions of the wreath that are sticking out from outside the edges don't have glue on them. And now let's, that'd be cute if it was popped up on foam as well. Give it even more dimension. Now we can adhere our little bear down if we'd like. I think what I'll do is pop his arms up. And I could pop the arms up with the foam as well, but I think it gets a little bulky if you want to add something under his little paws here. So I like leaving the black foam down and just popping up the paper. So you can see there that the foam still stays in place. You could pop it up if you wanted to, but I just find it gets a little bulky. So let's see. I've got, what do I have here? I have a little dish somewhere. Here it is, of some goodies that he can hold. So I brought over some options here. That snowflake is a little big, I guess. I got several options of those. Let's see, I also have this kind of a snowflake. Or I have these little snowflakes. That's cute. That's cute. I have got these candy canes. So see, if you wanted him to hold a candy cane, you could just tuck it under there. I also have these clear snowflakes. That might be fun. This would be fun as a little dangle up here on top, so let's do that. And then I also I thought these might be fun for him to hold as well. Let's see here. Maybe not on this particular tag, but on some tag. I got these little candies at Hobby Lobby in the little miniature Christmas tree area. And so you could hold a little lollipop. Cute. And what else? I think that's about it. I think I have some different size candy canes too, so this might be a little bit more size appropriate for him. But that's cute as well. But I think I'll add this here to the top. And oh, I know, I could use his little coffee mug. Let's see, where did it go? Oh, he can hold his heart as well. That might be fun. And let's give him a scarf. While we're at it, let's dress him up a little. I liked making the scarf out of black. I thought it looked really nice and kind of fancy. So let's go ahead and adhere the scarf on here. Yeah, that'll be cute. So a little bit of glue. Oopsie. And when you put the scarf tails on, I think they're really cute hanging off of the side like this as well. But also, they're very cute on this side. And they are a little bit more whimsical, I think. So you could do that as well. I think that's really cute. Or you could be a little more traditional and put them on this side. You can do one or two. So I think I'll go with traditional for him. And just add another little bit of glue here. And then maybe even another one here. There you go. And they don't line up there at the top, but you could also put an embellishment or something, and we'll go ahead and do that as well. We'll put a little embellishment over that. So I think that's really cute. And let's see, what could he hold? We can have him hold, I like having him hold the little heart. Let's see. I have some little foam adhesives here. And I'm going to put the foam adhesive just on one side of the heart so that when it's under his paw, it lifts up like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive here. And that will keep that in place. There, that's really cute. All right. Cute, cute, cute. All right, so I also have this twine here. This is a gigantic roll of twine that I bought at, I don't know, Home Goods or TJ Maxx or somewhere. So I'm going to cut some of this off. So that I have a little tie for my tag. And I like putting my loop through the front of the tag and putting the ends of the twine back through that loop and giving the front of the tag the nice looking detail there. Let's see. I think this little snowflake is going to be cute up here. And I think I'll use a bulb pin. Let's see, all of the colors I have mostly are just this vintage bronzy looking color, which I think will work just fine. If you have black or if you have colored ones, I know they come in all different kinds of colors, but I think I just have these and maybe just a handful of black ones. I'm just going to slip that through there, and then to attach it to my tag here, I'm just going to slip it up through the knot. And I like kind of stabbing both a tie end and the loop end, so it kind of keeps that knot in place without having to secure it with glue or anything. So, whoops. There we go. That's cute on there. And then we can adhere him down. And I think he will be set and ready to be finished. All right. And I kind of like getting him a little centered on here. I'm going to put him down far enough so that you can't actually see the wreath coming out from underneath him. So he's right down snug at the bottom of that tag. Great, and now I'm going to put my acrylic block on him and let that hold him down while he dries. So we'll go ahead and set him off to the side there. This video is at 30 minutes already. I think I'll stop here, and I think you've got the idea of how to stamp on the bear, how to use different types of backgrounds for him, and the types of stamps and things that I was using to create my projects. So I think I'll stop here. You've got all kinds of ideas, though. You could certainly add foliage to him to give him a scarf instead of, or to put like the idea of a wreath around his neck instead of using the scarf. So for example, it would be like putting that little foliage there and holding it down with a button. And that just gives the idea that there's a wreath around him. I did say that I was going to put something here, so let's go ahead and do that. I've got some old buttons here in a dish. Let me see if I can find one. This is cute. And then I'll use some of my favorite twine from my little jar here. And just cut a piece of that off of there. And now I can thread this really cool button. I'm going to probably need to hold this button down with maybe hot glue, but we'll give her a go. I have some distress collage medium here as well, so we'll try that. We've got lots of different textures going on here. We've got the glitter paper, we've got the crystal snowflake, and now we've got like an old-fashioned metal button. So I like just running my nail along the twine here, and it just gives it a little bit of curl and whimsical look to it. It's probably a little long here. There we go. So I'm just going to adhere that right there. And to do that, I'm going to use the collage medium matte so that if any of it squishes out, it doesn't actually show. Give it a little dollop there. And now I really do need to set this aside to let that dry. So, but there is our tag for now. I do need to let that set aside and dry, but I think this turned out so cute and so easy too, right? Just to give a little stamping to a die cut image, adhering some die cuts together, and you've got a beautiful little tag. These little crystal snowflakes, I'm not sure where I got these. I've had them for a long time, but they're probably from like a little miniature tree decoration packet. So anywho, I hope this has been fun for you. I know it's been fun for me. I have a whole bunch more dies that that I can use to put together more tags, so I think I'll do that. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and thanks so much for the question, Love Colors 5821. I really appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!